Welcome back to the Immigration Answers Show. My name is Jim Hacking. I'm an immigration lawyer. I will be here with you for the next hour, answering as many of your immigration law related questions as I can. We have offices in St. Louis, Missouri, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. But remember, my people, immigration is federal. It's not like car accidents, which are state specific. It's not like divorce, which is state specific. Immigration is federal, which means we can handle immigration cases anywhere in the country and anywhere around the world when it comes to the State Department. So it's a little bit easier to refer cases to us. If you were so inclined, we'd appreciate it. You know the kinds of cases that we work on the most: mandamus lawsuits against the federal government, marriage-based green card cases, fiancé cases, family-based immigration, citizenship, asylum. These are the H-1Bs. These are the kinds of cases that we work on day in and day out. If you haven't already, go ahead and let me know where you're watching from. We'd love to see where everybody is, and we're glad to be here with you at this special early time. We'll see how turnout is. It is a little bit early, especially for those of our sisters and brothers on the West Coast, but when you're getting free immigration answers, some people tend to tune in, and that's just great. So we're happy to be here. There's already people in the waiting room. I'm going to go ahead and get started in a minute. I wanted to make sure to mention that USCIS has announced that starting, I think, pretty soon, if not already, they're going to allow medical exam results to be valid for up to 2 years, for 2 years. So there's always been this drama about whether or not people who got their medical done, got it turned in on time, whether that was going to be accepted by the agency, and it was a big headache for a lot of people. A lot of immigrants ended up spending hundreds of dollars more than they needed to because the immigration service wasn't accepting the medical and saying that it expired. So this will be a nice thing about the Biden administration has done to try to help immigrants just a wee bit. They're doing the bare minimum, let's just say that. But we take our wins where we can. So medical exams should be good for up to 2 years moving forward. All right. So as I mentioned, this is episode number 341 of the Immigration Answer Show. The waiting room is open. Let me go ahead and get that link so that you guys are all set for that, so that if anybody wants to come in and ask a question, they can do that. Please remember to leave a comment and let us know where you're watching from. And also, if you're going to come on in the waiting room and onto the show, you are going to be saying everything to the world so everyone can see what we're talking about here. There's no state secrets here. There's no privilege or confidentiality. So you have to remember all that. So feel free to use an alias. Feel free to talk about your friend. A lot of people in the comments like to try to decipher whether someone's really talking about themselves or really talking about their friends, and that's sort of fun. But we do have some people in the waiting room. I'm going to go ahead and get started. It looks like somebody's on the treadmill, so you know I got to go with them first. So Devendra is on the treadmill, it looks like.
Hey,
How you
Jim,
doing?
how are you?
I'm
Good, how
great.
are you?
Way to get it done.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I've done some work phone calls on the treadmill, but I've never done the show on the treadmill. Maybe when we redo the we're gonna redo the studio, and when we do, maybe I'll get a walking treadmill. So anyway, go ahead and ask your question. Sorry.
All right. So, quick background. So I'm in removal proceeding. My wife got I-130 for me, approved, and the question is, if the lawyer contacted the attorney general or the judge, they never answer, and then my hearing is like in a month, can my attorney bring the I-485 and everything for the judge at the same master hearing date, or that's not possible?
So your next court date is a master calendar date?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll probably be when it gets sorted out. You have to understand, these judges and these government attorneys have hundreds and hundreds of cases, so they won't really look at yours until it gets pretty close to the master calendar. But if all you have is a master, they'll probably just terminate, because you said there's an approved I-130 already, right?
Yeah, so same day after, like 30 minutes after interview, the
Yeah.
officer approved it. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically what I'm saying, Devendra, is they probably won't get around to it until your actual master calendar, but then you'll be good to go.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
All right, bye, buddy. You could
Bye.
also, Devendra could also always call Shabazz and see Shabaz's see Shabaz's get Shabazz to call your attorney and start bothering the government attorney, which, obviously we don't want anyone to do, but Shabazz apparently did it. So just sit tight, Devendra. All right, Kapil is back. Hi, Kapil.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Hi.
Great. How are you doing? Hi.
It's me and my husband.
Hi.
Hello, Marino.
Hi, Marino. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah. So I talked to you on Thursday regarding mandamus for EAD and AP with the view that they'll speed up our I-485 also.
Yeah,
And I actually hired you on Friday.
I
So,
saw.
yeah. So the lawsuit takes about 60 to 75 days.
Well,
And
it'll take them about a week or two to get the thing on file. Then we mail it to them, and that usually takes about a week. And once they get it in the mail, some places start working on it. Some places wait until the 60th day. I think yours is Chicago, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So Chicago, they don't mess around. They swing into action right away. So it'll probably be faster than most times.
Okay. So the question I had is, can we
Yeah.
not sue on all three, EAD, AP, and I-485? And when we talk to them, we tell them that it's better to adjudicate just I-485 so they don't have to work on the other two.
Well, first of all, I don't tell them anything. I don't tell them what to do. They do their own thing. So, and especially the Chicago field office, I can. First of all, I don't think we should sue on the green card. I think we do it the opposite of what you said. I think we sue on the green card, or sue on the work card, sue on the advanced parole, and while we're talking to them, say, hey, by the way, do you guys have any interest in working on the green card too? I'm not. When you and I talked, it was specifically about the EAD with the hopes of maybe it helps the green card. But I think if you throw everything in there, then you're more likely for them to say, hey, he hasn't waited long enough overall. We're not going to do anything. So I think you got to be very careful with how you pick what you want to do.
Okay. And he's a federal government employee. They won't retaliate against him in any way. You said you confirmed that already.
I've had 1,600 lawsuits. I've had probably 20 involving spouses of federal employees, and I've never heard of any complaints about that. And no one's ever even going to connect the two of you for purposes of retaliation. I wouldn't worry about that at all.
Okay. Is Chicago office racist?
Of course,
none of us is white.
Right. If they did, then he'd have another lawsuit, right? If they did that would be actionable. No, I like the Chicago field office. So the Chicago, I mean, it always depends which officer you get, but I've always felt treated fairly there, and I've been there with all kinds of different brown people. So I think they're fine.
One question I had, if he were to travel using the travel document, would that interfere with his F1 status?
No. I mean, I would assume that, Kapil, your visa and your passport has expired.
Yes.
Yeah. So as long as you have advanced parole, that would be all you're traveling on. So it wouldn't screw up his status. But if something happened to advanced parole and he had to try to get back another way, he'd have to go back to the embassy, which we don't want to do because now he's applied for a green card. So, but I wouldn't be too worried about that. I think we're going to get this all wrapped up, and he's probably going to have he's probably going to get his green card before that would even become an issue.
Last question. They keep telling me that my interview is waived. Now that we have sued, will they interview us?
Maybe, but I don't think so. That'd be interesting if they did. I haven't had that happen yet.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend, guys. See ya. Thanks
too,
for coming on. Yep. All right. Muslim's here. What do you say, Muslim?
Hi, Jim. Good morning. So, basically, Jim, I have applied for my citizenship to 2020 March, and on April 2021, I got an interview. However, my interview was canceled, and I show up to Detroit office, and I like I said, I was prepared for the interview, but the officer said, I cannot interview you because your file is not complete yet. So I told him that's what we will do. So anyway, so what I do, I go back, and he told me that we are waiting something on the mail. And since then, I got nothing. So this is the steps I did so far. One, I reached to the congressman, and Like whenever I got to them, they say, "Oh yeah, in 60 days, if you didn't hear nothing, you get back to us." Anyway, so I get nothing from the congressman. I reach out, I submit like 3, 4 electronic requests, and as well as I go to the ombudsman. And recently, I requested FOIA for my file, and I believe the last steps I did, I want myself with my coworker to the Detroit office with no interview. I take my file, and I was lucky the security officer let me talk with the one of the employees. So I talked to her. I told her that, is there something wrong with the file? Is it like, she told me that this is like a security bending and you just wait.
What country are you from? Iraq?
From Iraq, that's correct.
And did you work with U.S. military?
That's correct.
Yeah. So, I've had 20 cases just like yours, exactly like yours. I have a picture here, someone of a guy I did just like this in Houston. So I know, and this will sound really strange. You would think that USCIS would bend over backwards to help people that helped the United States in Iraq. But instead, they do the exact opposite. Instead, what they do is they treat them as a security risk. It's the weirdest, dumbest thing that I've seen, but I've seen it literally. I'm not saying 15 times, I'm not saying 17 times. I've seen it 20 times. So that pattern that you gave me, that's how I knew you were from Iraq. That's how I knew that you worked with the military, because I've seen that movie before. So every time I've sued them for ex-military guys that helped the military in Iraq, every time I've sued them, they've scheduled them for the interview, and they've gotten their citizenship. So I think two things. One, I think you should sue them to get them to give you your interview and finish your case. And two, I think that until you sue them and make them decide your case, they won't. Because I don't know why, I don't know how it works. I'm glad you did a FOIA, and maybe even if you hire us and this is all done, I'd really like to see the FOIA when you get it back. I'm glad you did that.
I got on the FOIA, I got my citizenship application and 400, and I got the I-94. Just those two documents they gave me.
Yeah. Okay. Because everything else was done through the embassy, right?
What? I'm sorry.
Because that's all you've had with USCIS, because you got an immigrant visa through the embassy, right?
I got I came as a refugee, so I.
Oh, you was a refugee. Okay. Yeah.
I
Okay.
refugee.
Yeah. So I don't know how, but I think that when people work with the military, there's lots of background checks that they do back then that the government did. And I think there's this isn't really what it is, but this is how I picture it in my brain, that there's some kind of fingerprints that get on the file from these other agencies that makes it hard for them to naturalize you. Go ahead.
Sorry, one more thing. On 2019, I was involved in a car accident, and I forget to activate my insurance, and as a result, I get 2 civil infractions. Does that affect the case?
That's not why your case is delayed. That's something you're going to have to deal with at your interview, but that's not why your case is delayed.
Okay. One more thing, Jim. I'm going to call your office. I'd like to hire you, please, on that matter. That's great. Since you have, like you mentioned, you have 20 cases like me.
Yeah.
So if I apply for the travel documents, and my wife is here with me, and I applied, she came, I am her petitioner, like I-130, I applied for her, and she is with me, and I have a kid now. Anyway, so if I apply for a travel document, do you think this will affect my my application, or my N400 application?
Simply applying for it won't. If you went back to Iraq, it might. So I would say don't do any overseas travel. If you sue them, this should all get wrapped up in about 90 days. Detroit field office is good on lawsuits. So if we sue them, you'll be done in 90 days. Go ahead and apply for the travel document now. And then once you get your citizenship, then you'll have your travel document and you're good to go.
Okay, so I will apply. So right now, you are recommending me to apply for a travel document. Which kind?
I'm not recommending that you do, but I don't have a problem with you doing it.
Okay, so it will not affect me that. So a travel document, which kind, Jim? Which kind?
Which kind?
Because there
On the
are
I
three types.
on the I-131.
Mhm.
Yeah, just the I-131. You just want the refugee travel document. That's what it's called
Okay,
on the boxes.
great. Refugee travel document. And do you think I have to apply for my wife too? Travel documents?
So does your wife have a green card?
Yes, and she's
Yeah,
with me
yeah.
right now.
Yeah. She still has an Iraqi passport.
Yeah, that's correct.
But did you consular process for her, or did she do it all here in the United States?
No, it's in the consular and
So
back
you filed for her as the spouse of a green card holder. She got an immigrant visa and came to the United States and then got her green card.
that's correct.
Yeah, I would go ahead and get her a refugee travel document too.
Okay, okay, okay. So if I want to contact you, do you recommend any way, like just to call the
Yeah,
office
so
and schedule?
here, I'll
Mhm.
put it here. No, say it. Here's what I want you to do. Go ahead
Please,
and
please.
send an email today to, here's the
Okay,
number. Don't call, send the email, say info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com and say, my name's Muslim. I was on the show this
okay,
morning, Sunday with Jim, and I want to file mandamus for my delayed naturalization. And
okay.
ask them to assign your case to Juan. Say you want to talk to Juan, Juan.
Juan. You are okay.
Thanks,
Assign your case.
Muslim.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank
Bye,
you.
buddy. All
Bye.
right. That was Muslim. Yeah, we've seen that movie before. It's really a screw job. I think that we should be bending over backwards for the guys that helped the U.S. Army in Iraq and in Afghanistan, but for some strange reason, we don't. Luis is here. Hi, Luis.
Hey, how you doing, Jim?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Hey, first of all, thank you for your help, to a lot of people that need, help and recommendations and stuff.
My
So this
pleasure.
is my case. Back in 2020, I applied for my wife and my kids. Everything went well. The whole thing is to get the green card, it took 1 year. And finally, I drive this year in January. But my wife and my two kids, they got a 10-year, and my other two kids, they got only the 2-year green card.
And you applied for all of them the same way?
Yeah, but not, I guess, independently. Like each case was individual, but at the same time, basically. But like I said, my wife got a 10-year. My other two kids got a.
Luis, what's the date of your marriage?
So whenever they entered to the United States, it was in April 2022, and our 2-year anniversary was in January.
Okay, hold on. So let's do it. What was the date that you got married?
January 2020.
And when did they have their interview at the consulate?
That was on 2021, December 2021.
Okay, and then and when did they enter the United States?
April 2022.
And when did they receive the green cards?
Basically this year, a few months ago, 2023, January 2023.
Wow. And how many kids are you talking about?
Well, 3 of them are stepkids, and one of them is my son. The little one is my son. So basically 4 and my wife. So total of 5 cases.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to look up something because we researched this whole issue a couple months back. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
That'll be great.
I'm not finding it. I'll tell you what, Luis. Let me do a little bit check-in tomorrow, and I'll check. I'll if you either come on the show tomorrow or listen to the show tomorrow, I'll lead off with an explanation about this. I'll walk everybody through it, and I'll give you the answer tomorrow. I'm pretty sure they screwed up, and everybody should have 10-year green cards. But I just want to make sure. You're probably gonna have to file. You're probably gonna have to file I-90s for the ones that got the wrong one, but you shouldn't have to pay a fee.
Yeah, that's what I was maybe thinking. Because should I wait maybe for the 2 years to expire and pay the fee, or maybe
no. We'll just do I-90s as soon as possible because it's going to take them a year to fix it. So I'm sorry. How many kids did you say got the wrong one? Two kids got the wrong ones?
Yeah, 2.
And are they the step kids?
Yeah, the step kids, yes.
And then your wife got the right one.
Yeah, my wife got a 10-year, my little one got a 10-year, and my other stepson also got the 10 years. So the little one, I already got, his citizenship last year because he got in 3 months right away.
Okay, thanks, Luis. I'll figure it out. I'll let you know.
I appreciate it, Jim. Thank you so much for your
Have a
answer.
good day, buddy. You got it. All right. Hey, everybody. The waiting room is still pretty open as far as things go. I'm not used to seeing this many people in the empty spaces in the waiting room. Nabath is here, and I'm going to say hi to Nabath. Hi, Nabath.
Good morning, sir, Mr. Jim.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm here talking to you.
Okay. So, Mr. Jim, I came to U.S. 2016 on an F1 visa, but I never attended the school. So that's not good. Yeah. In 2017, I got married, but I never filed. So
that's not good either.
So 2018, I was apprehended by ICE. All right. So the day I was arrested, they gave me a paper on bail bond, right, that I should pay $2,500 and go back home. But I was there for like 9 days before I was able to raise the money, $2,500. So on the 9th day, I left the place. So when I left the place later that year, 2018, online, I met my now wife. So I told her all of my stories. When I came, the previous marriages and everything. So
hold on just real quick. For the spouse that you married before you got picked up by ICE, did that spouse ever file for an immigration benefit for you?
No.
And when did you get divorced from that spouse?
2018.
And when did you meet the new spouse?
2018.
Before or after you got divorced?
After.
Okay. All right. So then you marry spouse number 2. Is spouse number 2 a U.S. citizen?
No, she is actually spouse number 3. The one that I have now that we are married together, she's number 3. I was married before I came. When I came,
that whole trick. What country are you from?
Nigeria.
Oh my God, dude, you're really selling this. This is a big old mess. Okay. All right. So let's talk about that then. So when you went to the embassy and said, hey, I need a visit visa to the United States, I'm going to come back to America for sure, or to come back to Nigeria for sure, because I have this spouse. Did you get divorced before you came to America or after?
No. I actually applied for an F1 visa visit.
Oh, F1. Yeah. Okay. But you were married when you went to get the F1, right?
Yes.
And, okay. So then, did you get divorced in Nigeria or did you get divorced from the United States?
Over there, she divorced me, and I was able to get the paperwork from her. She did that. I didn't do it.
So you did not participate at all in the divorce?
No.
You weren't there when any judge declared you divorced?
No. They sent me the court paper from the customary court. They sent me everything, just my own copy to keep. I was not involved.
I have some thoughts on that, but let's keep going. Go ahead with your questions. Now I feel like I understand. Go ahead.
Okay, so spouse number 3. So we eventually got married and everything. So when we got married, we filed. At the point of filing, or at the time of filing, we never had sufficient evidence, but we filed anyway because I was actually in a hurry at that time because I was issued NTA by ICE, but the NTA on the dates that the hearing was supposed to be held, it didn't hold at that time. They said they were going to give us another date. Until now, since 2018, no date has been given.
So that's good.
So in 2018, I filed. 2019, I got my travel document and authorization to work, Social Security, and all these things. And I've been working ever since.
Yeah.
So 2021, we went for interview. for I-485.
And they said you're still married to wife number one.
No, they didn't say anything at all. They just said, okay, we'll get back to you. You will hear back in about 4 months or so. Till now, we've never heard back. So 2021 first interview, last year, 2022, we were invited, right? So we went there, and at that time, we had overwhelming evidence because now we have kids. Now we have all kinds of paperwork. So we went there with all that we had. So they asked us, what evidence have you brought? We gave them everything. They went inside with the document, with the paperwork. So they spent almost an hour checking out everything and everything. So after 1 hour of collecting the document, they let us in. So when we were in, they didn't ask us anything, the officer. The officer just said, everything looks good, everything. I'm satisfied with all of the paperwork and everything. I'll be approving your I-130. So right there on the spot, he never asked anything. He just said, confirm your address. And I was fingerprinted. And I think he also took my photo. And that was it.
With the little webcam and the glass,
yes.
The blue glass thing? Okay.
Yes. So that was it. He said, do you have any question? I said, you just told me you approved my case and everything, but there's nothing. He said I was going to receive something in the mail, as confirmation. So the next day or, a few days later, I just got the I-130. So I was hoping that the I-485 was going to be approved as well since March 2021 till now. No approval for the I-485. No hearing date for the immigration court and everything. So everything is just pending since 2019 that I filed. It's over 4 years now. We're still waiting. I-130 approved, but not the I-485.
Okay. Well, first of all, Nabath, you did a great job explaining everything. I understand everything. So this is really actually good news. The fact that so you have an actual I-130 approval notice. You've seen the approval notice?
Yes, I have it in hand.
Okay.
Yes.
So then really all we're talking about, so that means they've accepted that you are legally free to marry wife number 3. They've accepted that the marriage is valid. They've accepted and approved the petition for alien relatives. So that's a huge step towards solving a lot of the problems that could be present in your case. So that's really good. What field office is this?
Brooklyn.
Okay. And okay, so when you log in and look at the 45, what does it say? Under review or what?
It is not even showing anything. In fact, I don't know if I can get online right now. It is not showing anything. So I can see the status. I think the most recent status that I can see was actually when I tried to expedite back in November last year.
Yeah.
So that was the last that is the last information on it, that your request was expedited request, everything.
Let's talk about the 485. Where in the timeline? So you're still under the jurisdiction of the immigration court. Where did you file the 485 when you filed the I-130 with USCIS?
Yeah, I filed everything all at once together.
And so did the officer say anything about the 485 at your interview?
No, if I had known that, no, because he just said I'll be approving your case. I didn't know it was specifically talking about I-130. So if I had known at that time, I would have asked, what about my I-485? So, but I never asked any question, just said I'll be approving your case, and I took it like that.
So, okay, so here's the tricky part now. USCIS can't approve the 485 because you're under the jurisdiction of the immigration court. Until you get proceedings terminated in the immigration court, USCIS can't decide your 485. Now, there's a question as to whether the filing of that 485 was valid or not, because when you are under the jurisdiction of the immigration court, you should only file the I-130 with USCIS, get that approved, and then go to the immigration court and say, hey, I know Nabath doesn't even have an NTA with a court date, but we need to terminate his proceedings. I'm going to enter my appearance and ask that this thing be recalendared, because right now you're not on anybody's calendar. And if you're not on somebody's calendar at the deportation court, it's as if you're not even there. So it's sort of like you're in a black hole. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, it does, because like I said, since 2019, it's over 4 years now, and I'm waiting. So what I'm thinking right now is I have, because my work authorization expires sometimes in November. So I'm thinking I'll try to renew. I'll try to file for renewal around May. It's going to be 6 months to the expiration. So maybe if I file for renewal, maybe they're going to pull up my file and try to see that this person has been getting authorization for over 4 years. What's going on? What do we want to do? Maybe something is going to happen at that time. If not,
that's not what I would do. Here, can I tell you what I would do?
What?
I would hire a lawyer to enter their appearance in your deportation court. Say, hey, we're entering our appearance. We have an approved I-130. Please recalendar, get us a new court date. And then once we get our court date, we're going to ask that you terminate these proceedings so that we can go back to USCIS and get them to adjudicate the long pending 485, then sue them on the 485 because they've been waiting so long. If they don't work on it right away, I'd give them maybe 3 months after the court terminates proceedings, and then tell them we're going to sue them if they don't decide the 45, because by that point it'll have been 5 years, and then they'll call you back and do your green card interview, and then you'll be done.
Okay, thank you very much, Jim. So can you do something like that?
Oh, these are my favorite cases. We were just talking about this the other day. Yep, these are the Andrew and I are working for a guy named Alex who was on the show last week. We're going to do that case. This is my favorite case because we get to take someone out of deportation and bring them over here and get them a green card. So your case is messy, your case is complicated. They're going to keep sitting on it, but even besides all that, USCIS couldn't approve your green card today, even if they wanted to, because you're still in immigration court. That's the first thing that has to be fixed.
I mean, I was hoping that they were gonna give me a hearing, something like that. That when we get there, we'll be able to explain ourselves. But they never did anything since 2018. No dates, nothing.
You gotta ask for it. You gotta have a lawyer ask for it. Yeah, so we can help. You should shoot us an email and say I was on the show with Jim, and ask for Daniel. Say I was on around the 25-minute mark on Sunday, and tell Daniel that email Daniel a little description. Say my name's Nabath. I was on the show, and then say, send this on to Jim, and then Daniel and I will follow up with you.
I don't have Daniel's emails, but I have yours. So
yeah, if you mine or info at either one.
Yeah, I have the email for the info at you. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
I'll send an
email. Bye, Nabath. Thanks, bud.
Bye.
Good call. See ya.
Yeah.
All right. That was something. How about that? Woo! That's a lot going on. That's a fun case, though. Marit is here. What do you say, Marit? You're on mute.
Can you hear me, Jim?
Oh, I gotcha. How you doing?
All right, good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Thanks Sunday. For having me. Couple of questions. I came here as a B1, B2, and right now I'm working as an unauthorized without social security number, and also collecting medical benefits.
That's not good.
And trying to marry a longtime girlfriend for 12 years now. She was a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
And my question is there gonna be any problem about those work unauthorized without SSN and collecting medical benefits once we file?
Are you saying you're working with no SSN or a fake SSN?
No SSN. It's like under, what do they call that? Under the table?
Okay. Yeah, be careful with the way you talk about things, because I don't want you to get yourself in trouble for no reason. I wouldn't admit to working under the table. I think you got to be careful, but you're working without authorization. You're getting paid in cash.
Right.
Yeah. But your spouse is a US, or your 12-year girlfriend is a US citizen?
Yes.
So what's the delay? What are you waiting for?
Because the divorce is not finalized yet.
Oh, the person you want to marry has to get divorced?
Yes.
I see. Where's the divorce pending?
It's still on process.
Yeah, but where is it? How long does it take to get divorces in the place where your fiance lives, or the person you want to marry?
He lives in California.
Yeah, so sort of slow. Okay. So what's the question?
My question is, when we married and get a petition from her, all this question that I have, that work authorization,
that'll be forgiven.
And what kind of file what kind of form do we need to submit?
There's a bunch of forms. You need a lawyer, Marie. If you've been here out of status for such a long time and you have these complicating issues, you should hire a lawyer when the divorce is final to do the whole case for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's really complicated.
Well, and there's like 6 sets of forms. I could go over them with you, but that's not going to mean anything to you now. But just know, just know you have a complicated case. When the divorce is final, just come back on the show and tell me you're ready, and then we can get started.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your. Bye-bye now. Thank you.
Bye. Okay. Ramek's here. Hi, Ramek.
Hi, Mr. Jim. Morning. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
All right. I'm doing all right. Thank you so much. No, I'm a regular viewer of your program. I have spoken to you before. I have gotten legal advice. All right. Now,
awesome.
Main reason why I am calling you is based on the fact that I came across the border. You gave me some information regarding that previously. You also told me the cost, it would be to file the asylum process. You also gave me that information. I have been shopping around. As I said, this is a really important step for me, right? And this is a lot of money. I'm not working. I've had to try to scoop a little dollar here, a little dollar there. You understand? To try to get things done. And I've decided that I'm going to use your firm.
Okay, great.
To continue or to do this process from. But I just like you to remind me one more time. Let's say, because I'm planning on, let's do this first. If I'm interested in having you guys as my attorney to handle this what do I have to personally visit your office, or do I have to speak to you guys on the phone, or what? Because I'm actually in Georgia.
Yeah, we do everything over Skype or not Skype, Zoom or Google Meet. That's no problem.
Okay. So let's say we go ahead and we start the asylum process next week, because I've heard from some people that there's currently like a backlog, or some people saying it's taking quite some time longer than usual, right? To
correct.
Get fingerprinted and receive their EAD and so forth. Can you say anything regarding that?
Yeah, for sure. So what country are you from?
Jamaica.
Yeah, so it'll probably be, if you're asking me when do I think you'll get work authorization, it'll probably be in about 7 or 8 months.
Okay,
maybe even longer. Yeah.
All right, now another question. Let's say we file the asylum process today.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How long after do
You're breaking up,
Jim? Sorry about that. We got disconnected on my side. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. So how long? You're asking me how long will it take?
Yeah, to get fingerprinted. To do the biometrics.
I don't know.
Let's say that when you file the asylum process today, there's normally a time that they ask you to come in to do the biometrics. Can you confirm how long that normally is? A rough estimate?
Yeah, 6 or 8 weeks. But what do you care? Who cares?
Okay. No problem. I was just asking around because I'm just getting a little information here and there. But as I said, I'm satisfied with you guys. I've seen you here so many times assisting people with information, and I believe that you are to proceed with. So I was just trying to make the best decision possible. You understand?
Yeah.
So I already have your number.
Okay, great. Perfect. I'll tell the team you want to get started. I'll tell them to follow up with you tomorrow.
All right, no problem. I'm going to send them the number, a message, and then somebody can contact me, and then we move forward. Because guess what? I came in the country last year, May, and I only have until May this year, right? Because it's 1 year to file the asylum process.
So chop.
So April is here. I have to get you guys up and running. Thank you so much, Jim. You'll be here.
Have a good day, buddy.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, we're just flying through them today. We're at the 40-minute mark, and we got about 20 minutes to go. Maggie's here. What do you say, Maggie?
Hi, Jim. Can you hear me?
I hear you just fine. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
So I just wanted some clarity on what's like the difference between a non-resident alien and a resident alien in terms of like F1 students and filing for their Social Security and Medicare taxes.
Yeah, so that's a good question for an accountant, because I don't know about taxes. That's why I went to law school, because I'm not good at math. But generally, my understanding is, my understanding is F1 students don't have to file taxes, but that lawful permanent residents do. I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but that's my understanding.
So how do we differentiate between a resident alien and a non-resident alien? Because I think it has to do with the timeline and how long they've been in the U.S.
So on the if you're on an F1, then you're a non-resident alien.
Oh, it doesn't matter how long?
That's my understanding. But again, I'm not a tax attorney and I'm not a CPA.
Okay. Alrighty. That's all I had. And by the way, I'm from Namibia. You've been wanting a Namibian.
Yes, we did it. Namibia's here. Thank you, Maggie from Namibia. We did it. I love it. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. You too.
See ya. All right, we did it. Holy cow! I can't believe it. That's great. Well, I wish I was more help to Maggie. Maybe that's something I should know. Maybe that's something I should know is that when do they? Yeah, I'll leave myself a note for Maggie from Namibia. How about that? All right. Let's see. Dennis has been waiting patiently. Hi, Dennis.
Hey, Jim. How's it going? How are you?
Good. I'm great.
Awesome. Yeah. So here's a situation. I applied for naturalization on March, so just not a long time ago. The estimated time till case completion shows 9 months, and I will be getting married to my fiance here in July. So first question would be, given the current state of the F2A visa number, does it make sense for me to apply as a marriage-based green card as soon as we get married in July, or should I wait for my citizenship?
That's a good question. What field office will conduct your citizenship case?
I believe I filed from Columbus, Ohio.
Do you foresee any problems with your naturalization case?
No.
And your spouse is overseas or in the United States?
She is in Australia.
Okay. Yeah. So let's walk it through. So the wedding is when?
July 2023.
In Australia.
Yes.
So
India.
you go to
India.
In India. Okay. And when will you come back to the United States?
It should be shortly after the wedding, so I'd say about mid-July. July.
So you won't be gone long.
No, not too long.
So at that point, you'll be a lawful permanent resident married to a foreign national. And the question is, am I better off filing as soon as I get back, say August 1st, or waiting for my citizenship case, which I filed in March and will probably get adjudicated around October, November? I think I'd file the I-130 when I got back. And then once you get your citizenship, notify USCIS that no longer is this the case of the spouse of a green card holder, but now the petitioner has upgraded to U.S. citizen, and please treat my case accordingly. I mean, I wouldn't want you to lose. I mean, we would lose between August and October, November. That's 2 or 3 months, and that's assuming they do your case fast. Now, who the hell knows? They might do your naturalization case in August. So I think you're just sort of sitting and waiting to see how you feel about things after you get back from India.
Got it. Okay, so you'd apply as soon as.
I think I would.
Okay.
I think I would just
I've
because
heard
sometimes.
I've heard that though. Starting April, yesterday, the April bulletin said something along the lines of they're stopping marriage-based processing for current green card holders.
That's a great point. That's not what they said, but you're absolutely right. So now the visa bulletin is not current for the spouses of green card holders. Great point, Dennis. Great point. Sorry. So that's a weird thing. So they didn't say they're not going to process those cases, but here's the thing. So for most of the time I've been an immigration lawyer, there's been a delay for the spouses of green card holders. But because Trump sort of declared war on legal immigration and non-legal immigration, because he did that, the number of spouses of green card holders applying went down, which means that those numbers became current. But usually they're not current. Usually there's that backlog because there's an unlimited number of green cards and immigrant visas available for the spouses of U.S. citizens, but Congress has a cap on it for green card holders. And so we've now gone back into a time where there is a delay. So you would actually have to, in August, check the visa bulletin and say, when can I file my I-130? So you're gonna have to play around with that, and that'll be another factor that'll help decide your citizenship. So I think that's a good point, and we're just going to have to wait and see.
Got it. And then my second question, regardless of if I file as a citizen or a green card, there would be a period of time where I'd be waiting for my fiance to be here.
For sure.
Would she be allowed to visit me on a B1, B2 visa while waiting for a green card?
Has she ever had one before?
She has not.
So she's never been here before?
She has not, no.
So here's how that works. So if she were to apply now for a visit visa now, before she got married to a U.S. citizen, I'd say her chances of success, especially if she's an Indian national living in Australia, then I would say she has like a 5 or 10% chance of getting it. But once she marries a U.S. citizen, the chances of her getting a visit visa are very, very low, less than 2 or 3%, because they think she's just trying to jump the line and get a green card here in the United States, as opposed to waiting for waiting like everybody else and waiting for that immigrant visa.
Got it. Assuming she applies for a visiting visa prior to our marriage and she gets it, would she have any issues at the port of entry if she comes after the wedding?
They could potentially, but probably not. They would ask her. She'd have to be honest, because you don't want to screw up the green card case. And in theory, they could say, oh, you said you're coming for a visit, but now you're saying you want to come see your husband. That's not the purposes of why we give you the visa. We're revoking it and sending it back, but that's pretty rare.
Got it. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate you.
Bye, Dennis. Have a good day, bud. All right. Joel's here. Hi, Joel.
Hi, Jim. Thanks for all that you do.
Sure, man.
I love the show. I have a question about my stepdaughter, who I'm in the process of sponsoring, but for a couple of reasons, I put the brakes on the process. Just because we wanted to make sure it was the right fit and that she was ready for this. We started the process in 2020. Her I-130 was approved in 21, in March of 21. At near the end of 2021 is when I decided we weren't sure whether she really wanted to go through with the process. So I just stopped doing everything. So I did receive a request for additional information, I guess a marriage certificate and some tax information that I had already sent with the earlier applications.
From USCIS? From USCIS?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or is it? Okay. So anyway, I'm a little confused with the different departments.
So let's walk through it. So
yeah.
So you're married to her parent.
Her mom, yeah, her biological mom.
And she's overseas.
Mom is here.
Yeah.
Married to me.
Yeah.
Daughter is overseas.
How old is daughter?
We started the process when she was 19. She's now. Okay, she's now. Now she's 20. What is she? 22.
Okay. All right. So you filed the first thing you would do is file the I-130 petition with USCIS. That's the first agency that you dealt with. And then
yes.
I think you said that at some point USCIS approved the I-130, right?
Correct. Yeah, a year later.
Okay, so when was the approval of the I-130?
March of 21.
March of 21. Okay. And then the case would have been sent to a place called the National Visa Center, and you would have paid $445, $120 and $325 for that fee, and then you would have submitted a form called a DS-260, and you would have done that all online. And then probably what happened is, even though you sent USCIS the marriage certificate and all that other stuff, then they asked you for it electronically, and so then you probably got stalled out there at that stage, is what I'm thinking.
Yes, that sounds correct. And
okay.
Yes, that sounds exactly right.
Okay,
so the DS-260 was uploaded.
Okay. All right.
So it was shortly after that we started having some questions about whether we wanted to move forward with that. So that's the end of 2021.
Okay.
So that's when the requests came. I just did nothing after I got that request. Fast forward to the beginning of this year, 23.
Okay, just real quick,
yes.
before we get to that.
Yeah.
When the National Visa Center gets close to not having heard from somebody for 12 months, they usually send an email saying, "Hey, Joel, did you forget about us? Do you still want to go through with this?" Did you ever get an email like that?
I did.
And when did that email come? Do you know? Or I guess
that came in February of 23.
Okay, cool. And what did you do in February of 23?
All I did was log on.
And did you tell them you're still interested in proceeding?
I didn't do anything other than log on. And then I got a letter saying that it was extended for a year, but I would have to pay again.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right.
Okay.
I mean, that's better than the alternative. The alternative is kaput, the case is over.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
So, okay, I got you. I'm with you.
So my question to you is, I now want to travel to her home country and with her mom, and then sit down, the three of us, and decide what is our plan here. So the question is, I have this letter about a year. I would like to again kick the can down the road for another few months. And
well,
the
but
question
you're playing with fire for one reason. Do you know why you're playing with fire?
No.
Because when we started, she was 19. Now she's 22, and if she ages out, then she becomes no longer the under 21-year-old child of stepchild of a U.S. citizen. Then she's the over 21, and so there are an unlimited number of visas available for the under 21-year-old stepchildren of U.S. citizens, but there's a cap on it for adult children of U.S. citizens, adult stepchildren of U.S. citizens. Well, we have another problem too. How old was she when she married how old was she when you married your wife?
17.
Okay, so we're okay there. Okay.
Everything was down to the minute. Yeah.
Yeah, and still is. So like this case, she may have already aged out. I don't know. I'd have to do all the math and look at all the dates and all the paperwork and everything. But I don't know that you have time to go over there, have a chit chat to keep the case alive. You might need to act a whole lot faster. I could probably figure it out for you whether or not whether or not she's aged out. I'll just say it that way. But all these back and forth and slowing down probably really put her case in trouble and made her maybe have to wait 10 years to come as opposed to now.
Okay.
So your whole conversation might be moot.
Okay. I can just pay again, and we can go through that. Best thing to do would probably just be to do what's been requested and then sort it out.
The best thing to do is figure out whether or not she's aged out and whether or not you can keep her case alive. That's the best thing to do.
And
because go ahead.
Yeah, and how would I know if she's aged out?
So you can send me her date of birth, her I-130 approval notice, and then after that I should be able to figure it out.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And then that'll impact what you do, because there's a thing called the Child Status Protection Act, which basically freezes her age, but that all turns on how old she was on the day that you filed, how long USCIS took to decide her case, which it sounded like you said was 11 months, and then when the visa became available. So those are all the things. So my hope is that we didn't screw things up by putting things on the back burner for a while, but I think maybe not, but I just need to make sure.
Okay. And anything I should put in my email to remind you of?
Yeah, just say, I'm Joel. I was on the show right towards the end, and I was the one with the stepdaughter who might age out. And then send me that stuff that I need.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Joel.
Bye-bye.
See you, buddy. All right. Very tricky. Child Status Protection Act is a tricky thing. It's an interesting thing to work on. And you always want to be careful when young people are about to turn 18 or turn 21, because there's sort of immigration consequences that arise when people hit those ages. All right, Lexi's here. Hi, Lexi.
Oh, hi, Jay. Good morning. I'm good. How are you? How are you, sir?
It's Sunday.
I know, and you're here.
Yeah, well, it's Ramadan and I'm fasting, so I'm trying to do a show every day during Ramadan because it keeps me grounded.
Oh, thank
How are
you,
you doing?
sir.
sure.
I'm all right. It's pretty sunny here in California, so I can't complain. Finally,
Nice.
some sun. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I do have a couple of questions. So have you guys done a lot of humanitarian reinstatement revalidation cases
We've
for
tried. We've tried several,
oh
but they don't work very often. What do you got going?
well, I have a like an F1, unmarried uh, children of U.S. citizen. I have a group on Facebook. We have like a little messenger group, and there's a couple of members in our little group that have, their petitioner passed because they've been waiting so long. So they're kind of like, I told them, this is not a DIY case. You need a lawyer. So I'm trying to kind of get them towards your way to see what kind of your success rate with those cases. So
Yeah, they're very hard. There's an attorney in my office named Katerina.
okay.
Maybe what we could do, maybe we could set up a meeting with your group and Katerina, and she could just talk to everybody about how it works and when it doesn't work.
Oh, well, that'd be great. And also, do you guys do waivers for? I have one case in our group. She just had her interview in Manila. So her daughter, her 18-year-old daughter, was subjected to psychiatric evaluation by the
Oh, wow.
doctor. I know. And
Wow.
so she got refused a visa because uh, they need like a 213 waiver because of the
Yeah.
psych stuff.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
something you guys do too, or?
We've done medical waivers before. I don't know that we've done an overseas waiver like that, but we would certainly know how to do it. And in fact, it would be that same attorney. So
So
I
Katerina's
think
the same
I think
person.
Katerina's our person. Yeah. So send me an email today, info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com, and then say I'm the one asking about the
Medical
humanitarian
waiver.
substitution for U.S. citizens that passed away, and then we can go
Okay.
from there.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so
Bye,
much,
Lexi.
Jim.
Enjoy the
Appreciate
sun.
it. Okay,
Okay, see ya.
thank you.
Okay, bye. All right, Dan's here. Hi, Dan.
Hey man, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, not too bad. Hey, I was if you remember, I went to that little meeting the last Thursday for expedite the I-131.
Oh yeah, what'd they say?
Yeah, they told me so they took all the documents and they reviewed it like for 25 or 30 minutes. Back in there I was waiting in that little window. And they came back and they told me, oh, they sent me to another building to get a photo and the fingerprint.
Okay, that's good. That's a good
Biometric.
sign.
Yeah, and then after that, they said, leave your phone number and we'll call you. Nothing
Great.
else.
So that's as good as you can expect, I would say. That means, I mean, the fact that they sent you for photo and fingerprints, that means they want to run your biometrics so that they can issue they need the picture so they can insert it in the travel document, and that had to happen. So you moved the ball forward well.
Well, I brought the pictures that they asked, but they didn't keep it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Two
They
passport photos.
they know what they want. They wanted their picture. That's probably faster.
Oh, I mean, and then when I asked that lady on that window, she came out and she said, "Oh, I said, I'm kind of, trying to figure out what's going to happen." She's like, "Well, it will be approved, but and nothing else," she said.
Yeah, dude, you did a great job. You're close. Just sit tight.
Okay. Do you know how long it will take,
No,
for them?
Mm-mm.
Is it going to, it might take
Like a couple weeks. Couple weeks.
It shouldn't take like months or couple months or 3-4 months.
Nobody knows, but like I said, all I can say is you moved the ball forward very well. And the fact that you got their interest and their attention and got them to send you for biometrics, that's all a good sign. And that's sort of like climbing the immigration mountain. There's little plateaus. You've reached a new plateau, so now take a breath, just sit tight, and you're just waiting for the next step. You're good.
Okay. And then the last question here is what they sent me, like is it gonna be like a work permit card or it's just a piece of paper?
It's a piece of that old green paper, and your picture will be down in the corner, and it's just the advance parole.
Oh, okay. And then it's only for 30 days or something like that?
Probably.
Is that the one? I mean, is that the one they give you when you expedite it?
In my experience, it's shorter than usual. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because she told me like it's only for 30 days, and it will. She said it's gonna start from today, if we're gonna give it to you that day.
I don't know. We'll see, Dan. I got to go, man. Show's over.
Okay. All right.
See you, bud. All right. Take care. All right, everybody. That'll do it for today's show. We'll be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central. 6 p.m. Central. Early start today. Late start tomorrow. I hope you all have a great Sunday. I'm gonna chillax, and I'll see you guys all next time.